we must be always alert and be extremely careful. Where we are stronger is that we have common supervisory mechanism. So banks are being analyzed and supervised together. We have also a resolution mechanism. But more needs to be done. We would need capital market in Europe, which will share the risks by the private sector. And of course, central bank must be always attentive. They must follow, carefully analyze all recent incoming data and carefully take decisions to guarantee the price stability and also financial stability. So it will not be an easy job, but I have a trust to the leadership of the ECB, and also I'm happy that some tools and institutions are now stronger than before the great financial crisis.
Erkki, you're a Finn. You understand fiscal responsibility as well, and you understand the risks as well. I mean, don't you think that we've got a massive problem? We haven't even started, really, the unwinding of this balance sheet. What is it now? $3.2 trillion, euros, I beg your pardon. Does that terrify you about the unwinding of that?
No, it doesn't terrify me, but of course, I follow this all with great sympathy when I see the problems and issues what the governors and ministers need to solve. It's very important that we have fiscal balance in the long term. Governments run fiscal policy in the way that they have proper surplus, they're able to pay the cost of their lending. So this kind of prudence, responsibility is always needed. But I'm convinced that ECB is doing its best work, and also in European level, discuss about the objectives of stable finance in the public sector are very much on the agenda and followed. I happen to chair also the board of Bruegel, which is a leading European think tank there, and they have come out with concrete proposals. Discussions have been taking place in a good spirit, but of course, these are serious issues. Every generation of decision makers must take their own responsibilities, and I'm sure they will do it.
Erkki, you and I started out the year in Davos talking about climate change in your other role at IFRS, as we talk about what you're doing too at the ISSB, coming up with a report soon on financial reporting standards, or non-financial reporting standards, I should say. We were also debating the role of central banks here and just how different the Fed and the ECB have been on that. The ECB wants to align its policies with the Paris Agreement. As you look to the future, first up, can you tell us where you're at with this report that's coming out in June, but also what leadership you want to see from the ECB from here in the next phase around climate change?
Thank you very much for this question. What is now at stake is that the companies in the future need to do parallelly financial reporting and sustainability reporting. For that, you need standards where investors can analyze the data on the basis of proper disclosure. And now in the end of June, the first two standards will come out. One of them is a global climate standard. Of course, for central banks who have responsibility for monetary policy, but also must follow and take care of financial stability, all this information, disclosure, better assessment of the risks and risks of the companies is terribly important. So to support global standards, global baseline, better disclosure is totally fair objective for central banks. How they do the monetary policy, of course, that's a separate thing.